Hello, I'm Nemix, and here is the demo that I've been promising to show, a technique that is being used that I believe is having a detrimental effect on time trials. I mean, it could be wrong, but if the community is not aware of this, then I'd like to show the community just how using the L or R buttons to slide left and right actually is something to avoid. Now, I know these situations are not always easy to avoid, but when you have no cars around you and you're committing to a practice mode time trial, this is something that should be considered and be adjusted for, because what I'm seeing that there are some times to be made to be improved on. So I hope this quick video gives you the proof that I've discovered during the tasking of this game. Now, while we're on the subject of talking about tasking, I thought I would mention a few things about my current activities with it. At this point, I'm retasking F-Zero and have been since December 2021. During my last submission, I discovered by the time I got to Whiteland 2 that my bot was not actually operating very effectively. Even though it was blowing away my previous league tasks, now it's something that has been repaired. I'm seeing that the times are just unbelievable, and honestly I never would have thought it'd gone this far. So this prompted me to post my completion of the Deathwind 1 times that some of you have probably seen in the community general thread, which to this day I'm still shocked. I'm real happy it took a lot, over 3.5 months to do that track, but the times of 2010 on boost laps, just incredible in my opinion. Another thing about my retasking is the fact that during Red Canyon 2, I found out about the fast lap shortcut in Whiteland 2. Well, if I had not found out about this, I probably wouldn't be redoing this entire game again. As some of you are aware, I'm not really keen on devoting tons of manual tasking to it. So as it has really been mentally taxing on me and has actually caused some health problems, such as my eyesight being degraded a little bit. But it is getting better since I don't have to look at the screen constantly. Now, finally, by the time I got to Firefield, I was still having to learn a few things that actually was proving quite helpful in earlier parts of the game. So I was shocked that even by the time the last track, I thought I knew enough, but really it's every track has something new to look at. So now it's paying off quite nicely, and the Night League is looking so much more cleaner, sharper, and times are exactly consistent, so it's amazing. So let's get started for the reason for this video. Now, in order to make my proof convincing, I'd like for you to take notice of a Lua script I wrote that generates a HUD. So let's go ahead and load this up, and we'll be using my Mute City 1 inputs. Now you notice I've got some I have some markers here that I'm using so that I can show you exactly what I'm going to change. But let's go ahead and load up my Lua script. Now you see we've got a heads-up display here that indicates changes for speed, distance, my X placement, and my Y placement. Now, right now it's all showing 0, and that's because I've run a prerequisite of what the task has already accomplished. So that means any deviation will show you changes and say, hey, I may be making progress, or maybe falling behind, or my speed is actually here, just whatever. So let me just run it through here so you can see exactly that it's not changing. Now, let's go back a little bit and just show you, is this really telling us the truth? Well, let's go ahead and take off some inputs here for the dash. Is immediately you notice that my speed is dropping and I'm losing forward progress. So let's put them back. Alright, so now you know that it's working. So let's do something a little bit drastic. Let's turn right really hard. Now you see the numbers are changing. So I'm actually falling off all over the place here. So now let's go ahead and put it back. Now this is the part of the track where I'm now completely going straight. So the technique of sliding, we can now prove why it should be avoided. So let's go ahead and show you exactly what's happening when we do so. I'm going to go ahead and just hold down right. As you notice, look at this. The speed is not changing, but I'm not actually up as far as you thought you'd be. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for a full second. See, I am at 339. And we'll just stop right here at 399. Okay, so now you see, well, let's go just a little bit further. I want to make another point here about something that may not be well known in the community. We're almost at 9 pixels. And why am I so concerned with 9 pixels? Well, when you're going full speed with the Stingray, 478 kilometers per hour, you're actually moving 9 pixels per frame across the Mode 7 landscape. Okay, so now you know that with 1 second, roughly 1 second, maybe a little bit more, that you see that we've already lost a frame. So it's not good, and especially since my speed is not yet fully up to 478. So this is even worse than it looks. So now, what is the alternative? We'll take these off. I'll show you that if you think that, oh, well, if I turn too much, I'm losing it anyway. Well, not really, because this game is laid out really oddly, and I don't understand the mechanics fully, but I can tell you what I've experienced. There are pie wedges of turnability that if you stay within them, you can actually still, let's say, make right progress towards the side here, and I'm going to have to take out the one that's coming up here so we don't go even further. But you see, I am making progress towards the side, but I'm not losing my forward progress. Now, this right here is why I say that sliding should be avoided at all costs. Now, with just a tap on the controller, you most likely get, 3-4 frames of input. I don't think it would really cause that much trouble. I mean, who knows, you may just tip over just 1 frame too many, and this might start happening. But as you get better with understanding it, you may not have this problem if you're actually avoiding sliding, because we know for a fact sliding, regardless of the situation, is bad. Now, as I've said before, it can't always be avoided, and I understand that. But if you're on straightaways, a lot of the tracks, there's room for improvement here. So basically, this is what I wanted to show the community. I'd like to hear from you guys. I'm going to be looking out for comments, and I'd be glad to answer some questions. But if this is not known, I apologize. I mean, if this is known, I apologize. But I think from only one person before, Edward40, who has tasked Deathwind 1, I think he probably discovered the same thing, but I don't know if he knew how detrimental it was to hold it for more than a few frames. So basically, in my task, I'm just here doing tricks to get around, and that's why I think one of the things that prompted me to make this demo is one person posted on YouTube, says, I have a technique you might be able to get even further along, and he was talking about sliding. I said, no, that's not true. So, and I had to demonstrate my proof here. So here's the video and the proof by using my HUD that I actually use in my manual part of tasking, which basically trying to get the task ready for the bot to take over. So basically I do all my manual stuff, and then I let it optimize a turn that I've made. So really, let's say the HUD's more beneficial for me to find the best angle of attack on a corner. So once I've determined that by seeing the numbers and which numbers are really improving for that situation, then I'll let the bot take over. So thank you guys. I appreciate your time. Ask questions and I will be glad to talk about it. Have a good one.